Hey everyone. Now today in this video I just want to talk about how, in my opinion, the whole film and TV industry seems to massively fail when it comes to showing and depicting strong black women characters as opposed to their non-black counterparts. Now all this is purely my opinion and my musings, therefore please don't take everything as gospel and factual. I'm pretty much sure there's some things which I've missed. Now the trailer you see in the background is for the new film called The Woman King, starring Viola Davis. It depicts the historical events that took place during the 18th and 19th century. Now again, as it's a film, not everything is taken as 100% gospel. Again, I definitely know, reading some of the history in the background of this and listening to some of the reviews, there's definitely been some leeway given for creative storytelling. But again, it's Hollywood. But the immediate thing that struck out for me is the obvious. It does still seem to, at least in my opinion, depict black women in the same age-old stereotypes and image that has been a marker for centuries. And it begs the question as to why. Why does this seem to be the only image that gets put out when it comes to this type of context? Now, people will argue racism and, the whole narrative telling. But even when I look at productions written and directed by our people, because I don't understand if it's from another group, but our people, they still seem to have that same approach, or they've not, in my opinion, mastered the approach in which I'm going to explain as to the reason why it works for others. Because looking back at the history of strong fighting women characters, this is nothing new to the world of film and TV. In fact, I'd argue there's always been a massive staple diet of these types of characters that fit the bill. Ones which I certainly grew up with in my childhood. And it wasn't until I got older where you immediately spot a few things. And this is where, in my opinion, there's been a concerted failure to give black women the same type of portrayals as their non-black counterparts. So I'm just going to take a look at a few and see if we can spot the difference. Now, the first example is from the TV series Dark Angel starring Jessica Alba. I used to love this series when I was younger. It was only like for 2 seasons or whatnot. But little did I know how Jessica Alba's career would take off. Long story short, she is a genetically modified. There were children in a lab. They were genetically modified. And she's just trying to find her way through life, trying to find out what happened to her. And she's like really strong, super strong. She kicks ass, takes names. And obviously she's doing all the normal things that a young child would be doing. Or I should say a young woman would be doing. The next one is a cult classic, needs little explanation. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, played by Sarah Michelle Gellar. A young girl from high school who is chosen one to slay vampires as a side hustle. Then we have Charlie's Angels. Trio of detectives or modern day spies, given the whole retakes and the remakes that have been done on Charlie's Angels, who work to save the world together from plots and schemes while again trying to live their normal lives, dating and all, etc. like that. Angelina Jolie is Tomb Raider, Xena the Warrior Princess, Wonder Woman. The list goes on and on and on. Some of which I'm sure you would have remembered in your head about this. Charmed, for example, the ladies of Charmed. Ones I haven't mentioned, but I'm sure you know who they are. And I've deliberately chosen the images on purpose and deliberately chosen the characters on purpose because by now you will have spotted the biggest difference from how non-black characters are portrayed and how they're casted as opposed to ours. And the obvious one is this. There's a massive, massive, massive beauty and a sex appeal in which a lot of non-black characters are given, in which our black female characters are not given. And I'm like, is that by coincidence or is that not by coincidence? I mean, let's be honest. And this doesn't even extend to main leads, but even ones which you see as supporting stars, such as when I looked at the Black Panther film, the warriors, it's like, do they have to make them look so masculine? I mean, they could have had a group of Lupita Nyong'os to be the ones who would be the fighters. If you look at the Valkyries when it comes to, again, Thor, when you compare to the fighters of the Wonder Woman girls, you can see the massive difference in how they cast non-black characters and how they look. So let's be honest, they don't look half bad. You wouldn't be hating if these women came in to kick your ass. Let's just be truthful. And it's the same with the main leads when it comes to, again, Sarah Michelle Gellar, blonde girl, I'm pretty goddamn attractive. Charlie's Angels, very attractive. Angelina Jolie's Tomb Raider, a sexual object. It sounds crass. It sounds, like all my days, but this is honestly this is of the truth. There's a massive difference when you see a woman who looks like Jessica Alba being a person as opposed to somebody who is not Jessica Alba who's doing it. And it compounds it more when you see it seems to be on the black side, whereas I'm like, is it an equivalent to any of these characters which I've seen on the black side? Again, these are just my musings, so I can't remember myself growing up and seeing all of these TV series and films. But from what I can see, the massive and the biggest difference is all about, again, how they cast the characters in terms of their sex appeal and how guys want to be with them, women want to be like them. That's exactly how they start off, and it goes from there. And even when it comes to this, because there's another part of it as well, just because they have that strong appeal of they kick ass, they take names, they're supposed to, protect the world, etc., etc., the storytelling, they also have a way in which they can show just a more softer, vulnerable side. Again, Charlie's Angels, they're trying to find love. When you look at all these other characters, they're just trying to live almost normal lives so you can see a more vulnerable side. Again, go through school, finding love, interacting with their friends and family. Whereas again, when it comes to the other side, and I've not seen The Woman King, and again, when you look at all the other characters, it's like they just don't seem to have that other side, which just gives them that little bit of what people are calling that feminine, softer side, just to overlay. So people are like, okay. And because we all know how effective image is when it comes to the media, and how when we have it written in a way, it has effective ways of, storing those messages. Again, for us, it seems to breathe fresh stereotypes into the whole narrative or the whole image in regards to, again, strong black women leads as opposed to non-black female leads. We look at Asians, for example. They always depicted as being these strong, especially even the women, strong fighters. But again, they always seem to cast the ones, Lucy Liu, Maggie Q. They aren't ugly. That's the starting basis. They do have a certain look about them. And please, no one can tell me that there aren't black women that we can cast which has the exact same sex appeal. I know they are, but for whatever reason, it doesn't seem that way. So again, we're in a film industry. People talk about the realistic nature of it. I don't even go into that, because in the film and TV world, you have vampires, gods, superpower heroes, so all that kind of other stuff. This is imagination world, so it is what it is. But that's kind of the biggest differences that I've seen when it comes to how the industry casts and portrays strong black women leads as opposed to non-black women leads. It's all about, again, how they cater towards certain audiences. And maybe it's narrative telling in regards to breathing fresh life into age-old stereotypes. I don't know. But there's always seemed to be a different approach, and therefore you get different results. And again, I don't even buy the fact of the whole idea of women strong leads don't even sell to male audiences. A lot of these TV shows and films I've named have huge followings. That's why they have so many remakes. That's why a lot of them people still love these TV series. Because again, they have a huge following of men and women, but let's be honest, mostly men for obvious reasons who watch these shows and films. So it is what it is. But this is my opinion in regards to where Hollywood and just film industry as a whole fails when it comes to showing strong black women leads. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Until next time.